So we're at the business end of the football season, squeaky bum time, as Sir Alex Ferguson used to call it. And earlier I spoke to a man who's dealt with these high-pressure environments of managing a Premier League team, former player turned coach Garry Monk, for a quick status check on just how things are panning out across Europe. Garry, welcome to India. Thank you, of course, for speaking to WION. Quite a battle going on for the top four in the Premier League. But Manchester City are just running away with the title. The race isn't nearly as tight as we've come to expect it in England over the years this season, is it?
Yeah, but I think it just shows how competitive the Premier League is. Every single game, from the very first game to the very last game, up and down the league. It just shows how competitive it is. There's always something on that game. There's always something to play for. There's always a meaning behind it. For fans and everyone to get behind, and whether it's a relegation battle, whether it's fighting for a Champions League spot, or it's fighting for the league title. I do think on any other season that a lot of those teams just below Man City would normally be well within the title race. I just think it just shows how well and what an unbelievable season it's been for Man City so far, that they've got that points gap from the others at this moment in time. But again, the intriguing bit about the Premier League is it's never over till it's over. Of course, we expect Man City to win the Premier League this season with how well they've done. I can't see them losing enough games to be caught. But the Premier League's thrown surprises before. That's what makes it so attractive. And the good thing about it is it's always so competitive up and down the league. And even Man City will find that in this last period of the season.
Oddly enough, Garry, the lack of a title race appears to be a common feature across Europe's top leagues. It's not just Manchester City in England. Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain are miles ahead of the competition. Even in Italy, there's only a two-horse race between Napoli and Juventus. Is there a reason why, in your opinion, things have panned out this way?
Yeah, it's a good point. Difficult to put your finger on it. I think probably the only real surprise across those other leagues at this moment in time is probably Real Madrid, who are so normally in that title race that they aren't quite in it this season so far. But I think from seasons gone by, the other leagues, it's pretty normal process that maybe two or three are the ones that are competing for that league. But again, that's why the Premier League's so attractive. I think when you ever come to the start of a Premier League season, there's always 6 teams, shall we say, that everyone talks about that this could be the year that they take the title, and then it's the next point, which is the Champions League spots, which then brings in another probably 4 or 5 teams, and then you get the unexpected seasons like Leicester who come here. I think that's why it's so attractive, and the Premier League's always competitive. I know Man City are at this moment in time, it feels like they're cruising to the title, but that's very rare. It's very rare in England, and it will happen every now and then, but I think you'll see across the board and every single year, more or less, apart from one occasionally, that it'll be those 5 or 6 teams competing for that league. So yeah, across the other ones across Europe, yeah, it's a bit of a strange season where there's so many running away with that title. It could just be a year where a single team runs away in every league near enough and takes that title. But I'm sure the other teams will be thinking there's a lot of football left to play yet, and to see what happens.
Garry, we're also halfway through the first knockout round of the Champions League, and 5 English teams are in the hunt for a spot in the quarterfinals. Some, like Man City and Liverpool, are virtually already through. From an English football point of view, this is a huge improvement, isn't it, considering how little of an impact English clubs have made in Europe in the last few seasons?
For sure. I think there was a bit of criticism a few years ago about the Champions League stage for English clubs, and that we hadn't done so well or competed so well in that competition. But yeah, to have 5 clubs at this point doing very well, performing really well, I think it's a great testament to the Premier League and also a testament to those teams. So yeah, it could be interesting. It could be if these, if all the teams, all the English teams got through it, whether they face each other in the next round or even possibly the latter stages. I remember when it was Man United and Chelsea in the final not long ago. That was a really good advertisement for the Premier League. So yeah, it'd be interesting. I do think they'll progress. I do think that they'll get to the latter stages, and yeah, then that's when it becomes really interesting.
Garry Monk there. Thank you for joining us on WION.